Everyone. Welcome back to another episode of James Bond Bitcoin Live. 00136 hashtag Chucky with an E at the end. Chuck E. Anyways, let's see what's in the notes section here in the description. So give you an idea of what's going on for the show today. All right, I got I got Bond Trading View, list of top 55 coins and tokens compared to Bitcoin percentage and all-time high, flagged for shorts. So anyways, I'll go over that today. Interesting story today. Bitcoin scam. Man arrested after making over $1 million selling Chuck E. Cheese tokens as Bitcoins. Is this fake or real? Well, there's another story that contradicts this story. No, a guy didn't scam $1 million by selling Chuck E. Cheese tokens as Bitcoins. So, so we'll go over both of those stories, and it's a little unbelievable that someone can sell $1 million worth of Chuck E. Cheese tokens as Bitcoins, but I don't know. There's a lot of stupid people in this space because, after all, you have almost at least 50 billion, maybe 100 billion in altcoins, and those are just as good as Chuck E. Cheese tokens. So maybe there's some truth to it. I don't know. Anyways, I got some local news here. I'm in the Houston area. So ex-BP economist indicted for alleged efforts to extort Bitcoin from BP. Interesting story. Now, is this true? Well, this is coming from my local newspaper, the Houston Chronicle. So I kind of trust it. I mean, believe it or not, I've been involved in working with, quote unquote, the local newspaper when I actually used to work, and I kind of did some PR or worked with the PR manager of a company here in Houston. And it's interesting how things really work. You think you're getting news, and sometimes you are, but the news is really just a elaborate paid advertisement. Another news in the local news here. Bitcoin buyers see cryptocurrency in their financial future. I'll go over that news article. I think there's some there's some truth to the news. It depends who's writing it and how it's spun. Is it objective? Is there really true journalists out there, or independent journalists, or investigative journalists? It doesn't seem like it. It seems like most reporting is just here's the wire, report this. And in the cryptocurrency space with the YouTube videos, that's definitely what you're getting. So anyways, let me go on to the note section, the next part of the note section that's been partitioned off. Coinspectator, real-time cryptocurrency news aggregator. Great news aggregator. I've been looking at it. I'll read some of the stuff off today right now. Just let me go over the note section here. And then CryptoPanic is a news aggregator platform indicating impact on price and market for traders and cryptocurrency enthusiasts. Let me go over some of that. Let's see here. What am I going to go over first? I'll go on and this is just off the web browser on my smartphone, but I'm going to go to coinspectator.com. It works really nicely on your smartphone. and you get some really good, interesting fees. Now, this is coming over the wire, probably being fed into, the browser here. But let me read some of the things that has just come in. Fintech companies stock surged 2,400% after it acquires a blockchain company. This is coming from siliconangel.com 18 minutes ago. So you're seeing the buyout frenzy. So if you're wondering why some of these coins are doing really well, maybe there's a reason for it. Maybe we're in a phase of, we're kind of in the early phases of .com, and now we're getting into the phase of the buyouts during the .com phase. So you're basically creating companies and creating a blockchain company, and it's so hot, right? You got a token. You don't really need to IPO because you may ICO. You may still be able to do an ICO. And so what happens is now that you got some value in this company, ironically, it doesn't produce any products or services, but it's created value by selling, guess what? Tokens, right? It's selling tokens. So it's generated some income, quote unquote income. And now what it's able to do is it's able to market itself to even the greater fool, the angel investors out there in apparently Silicon Valley, to sell to the even greater fool, which would be eventually to have it go IPO. I suspect this is going to be going to IPOs. You're going to have blockchain companies, right, go into an IPO, probably on the NASDAQ, to sell to the greater fool or the greatest fool, which would be intended for you and me to trade on, Scottrade, Ameritrade, what else is there over, the basically you're going to be day traders, to the day traders for the most part, to the retail investors, And then let me see what else here. Avoiding paralysis, comprehensive analysis of community governance in digital currencies. This is coming from Cointelegraph 24 minutes ago. And then there's some kind of Korean here. And this is coming from the wavesplatform.com. Looks like something to do with waves and Qtum. Qtum is probably a token on the Waves platform. So, the Koreans are pumping that up. What else? Thomson Reuters adds Bitcoin Cash to Econ platform. That's coming from bitcoin.com. Dash.org looks like they got a version of their software, version 0.12.2.2. All right. What else? Digital currency Dash surges past 1,000 barrier to a new high of 1,250. That's coming from Cointelegraph. Let me see. 5 Bitcoin lessons for every investor. Brave, newcoin.com. Let's read some others here. While the Bitcoin bubble lasts, some lessons from history. Okay, interesting. Which temperature will you prefer for the Bitcoin wallets, cold or hot? Now, these are just headlines that are coming. Hyperledger Blockchain Consortium sees weakening support in 2018 report. This is coming from econotimes.com. So interesting news feeds coming in. Let me see if I can find some other interesting ones here. Okay, Bitcoin rally, income tax notice slapped on 1 to 5,000 wealthy investors. Evaders will have to pay capital gains tax. This is firstpost.com. Let me see, beginner's guide to trading on Gemini. All right, so that's coming from Coinspectator.com. Let me go to the other one real quick. CryptoPanic, and again, you don't have to download the app. If you could just simply go at the browser, and it works really well for the browser on the smartphones. Let me see if I can refresh and get some fresh news here. And it really helps, especially if you're into trading the news, and you've got to trade the news if you're an altcoin trader, because fundamentally, the coin itself or the project itself, there's nothing there. All right. So what else do you have to trade on except the news, which is nothing more than social engineering, by the way. So if you were Gordon Gekko, what would you do? Well, you would buy a whole bunch of these altcoins and then convince the developers to do something, anything. It doesn't even have to produce, it doesn't have to even be real. Just put out a version of your different software, and then, you know, instead of a 0.12, it could be 0.121, and then, you know, you can make news out of that. Let me see here. This come in 6 minutes ago. Litecoin price is up 20.13%. Let me see. This coin coming from CoinMarketCap. Let me see. There is a 75 chance of Litecoin price testing 420. That's coming from newsbtc.com. Interesting. Kind of those two wires, news wires came at the same time. Ripple price is up 20.70. Okay. Let me see. Let me look at some interesting ones here. All right. Bitcoin Cash price technical analysis. Bitcoin Cash breaks past 220. This is new. 34 minutes ago, coming from newsbtc.com. Another one 35 minutes ago, Bitcoin Cash prices up 18.72% from CoinMarketCap. Let's have another 41 minutes ago, the white elephant in the room. EOS investors shell out 700 million for purposeless tokens. The Bitcoinist.com. Interesting. Let's see. Okay, this is the same news that digital Dash has surged past to 1,250. How about this? New platform to buy and sell IOTA, omoku.io. That's a Medium post, looks like, from our IOTA markets. That looks like it's coming from Reddit. Let me see here. What other stuff is on here? Ordinary leather wallets being supplanted by digital wallets this Christmas. Interesting. And then, so it looks like Litecoin's being pumped and IOTA for some reasons being pumped here. If you just look at the news, you'll get an idea of what coins are kind of being pumped and being talked about. Anyways, there you go. Check it out. Let me see here. Let me go back to what I'm talking about here. So check out those two news feeds, those news aggregators. Very useful, especially if you're an altcoin trader and you're trading on news. Does it help? It probably doesn't really help. If anything, it makes you impulsive, and you'll probably end up losing money, but you get to do something, you know, with your coins. You get to do something, you know, on your computer. You could push the buttons and lose some money. Anyways, let's go on to the next section. So in the next section is all the fake forks, joke forks, and scam forks, and potential hard forks. I start with "It's time to stop," the meme. It's time to stop meme. It's really time to stop with these hard forks. So Bitcoin Uranium, haven't found any takers yet, but maybe there's you know, I hear Bitcoin, you know, Rhodium or something. Maybe, you know, there's probably a taker. Some gullible fool picked up on that one. Bitcoin Cash Plus, which still waiting. You know, block times have gotten faster, so maybe around January or end of December. Super Bitcoin's already happened. The futures are trading. I'll try to take a look at that if I remember. Then there's Bitcoin Diamond BID, and then Bitcoin Diamond BCD, and then Bitcoin X. I haven't listed it in the note section yet, but I'll mention it. Supposedly Bitcoin God, and I'm not even sure if I'm going to even talk about Bitcoin United. It's not even worth talking about. I don't think that's really going to happen. And then I have a list of airdrops for those of you who love receiving free money falling from the sky. All right, next in the notes section that's been partitioned off, I have very useful links. SegWit charts, if you want to know the SegWit adoption rates. CoinCodex, a listing platform. Livecoin, another listing platform. CoinGecko, another useful listing platform. Beneficial Charts, another listing platform. And then I have Mempool, Joho's Mempool Statistics, a graphical representation of the mempool and the fees associated with it. I'll go over that. I always go over the mempool, I always go over the fees, and I do a chart, a Bitcoin chart analysis at the end of the live stream. And then Salom.io, which is another listing platform. Each of those platforms that I listed, they have their unique features. And it's helpful, again, if you are an altcoin trader. It's helpful for me too, because I kind of like watching the market lose money, or I like watching all the participants in the market lose money to basically eventually the holders, the hodlers, typically the Bitcoin hodlers, as I watch all these people like foolishly enter into these altcoins and useless blockchains and pump and dump schemes. Eventually, you know, the market is really there to take money away from you and to take that money and put it into a project that is actually worth real money. Think about that when you trade. Transaction Accelerator, I have a link to the Transaction Accelerator if your transactions are stuck for whatever reason. You can use this to try to speed it up. And then I have Bitcoin Cash, hash rate, historical chart, 6 months. If you want to compare the two blockchains that compete for the same mining algorithm. All right, next in the notes section that's been partitioned off is, can Bitcoin be replaced via multiple hard forks? James Bond interview on Crush the Street, published November 9th. Interview November 7th. Check it out. I know it's kind of repetitive, but I do say some interesting things there. Also, collecting your free Bitcoin Gold coins with Coinami. That is a link to the support desk. Should help you split your Bitcoin Gold. And if you still can't figure it out, I made a video how to split Bitcoin Gold BTG01 using your Coinami wallet. And if you don't have Coinami wallet and you're unable to download it because you have an Apple or some other device or on a desktop, there is the mnemonic code converter from Coinami for their recovery phrase tool. You can import your mnemonic seed and then select Bitcoin Gold, and then it'll populate all the private keys. You'll still need a wallet, but at least you can do it offline. You can generate the keys offline if you just copy or save as the web page onto your desktop and then go offline and then put in your mnemonic seed and then go ahead and then populate the or reveal the private keys and then sweep away. Also, I have a link to Bitcoin Gold, but be careful going there because that site might have a virus or malware, and it might actually steal some of your Bitcoins. All right. So next in the notes section that's been partitioned off, if you watched this video and you were inundated with BitConnect videos, someone by the name of Craig Grant and his mistress Juliana trying to convince you to invest into a Ponzi or take your hard-earned Bitcoin, which if you actually held on to your Bitcoin, you would have made way more money. You know, BitConnect is kind of like cloud mining, but worse, because at least cloud mining, you know that you can actually kind of get a gauge of how much you can get back. With BitConnect, it's kind of just out there. You don't really know. And unfortunately, if you calculate the money you put into that into the BitConnect versus the money that you would have gotten, you probably would have made more money. You probably would have made way more money if you just held on to your Bitcoins. Anyways, you should probably read some of these articles before you invest your money and waste your time and probably lose money in BitConnect. Why has ICO Index labeled BitConnect as an outright fraud? Notice regarding high yield coins on top of BitConnect. What is BitConnect and why have we decided to distance ourselves from it? And if you still need some help, I made a video, James Bond Bitcoin Live 00117. That is when I interviewed 3 BitConnect users. All right, they basically described to you a Ponzi, but refused to call it a Ponzi. 2 of them rage quit. One of them was stupid enough to stick around to let you know where you could find him. I had a 4th guest who was not involved in BitConnect whatsoever, and it was obvious to him that BitConnect is a Ponzi. It's a scam. It's a waste of your time. All right, and finally, last part of the partition here, last part of the note section, I have several videos. The video theme for this video, Chucky's Happy Dance, how to Chucky dance. Now, I had to put a nice spin on this. If you like dancing and you love Chuck E. Cheese, then that's a video you want to watch. But if you're scared of Chuck E. Cheese, and you should be, because I haven't taken my kids to Chuck E. Cheese in a long time. It's been a long time since I've been to Chuck E. Cheese as well. Matter of fact, the last time, well, I guess it hasn't been that long, but when I was a child, I do remember the animatronics, and man, it was kind of fun. It's kind of interesting, but now that I look back on it, it's creepy. But anyways, here's some funny Chuck E. Cheese videos. Grandson scared of Chuck E. Cheese. I think that one's the funniest. That one's the funniest to watch. And fun at Chuck E. Cheese. Scared of Chucky. That's another fun one. So should you be scared of Chucky? In today's episode, yes, you should be. You should be very scared of Chucky, because apparently Chucky will sell you Chuck E. Cheese tokens as Bitcoins for $1 million worth. Let's see here. I have the link to hashtag yes2x107, the meme that you're looking at right now. Happy Hanukkah, everybody. Happy Hanukkah. Today is the 3rd day in which we celebrate the 3rd year of Bitcoin. So we're going to celebrate we're going to celebrate 9 years of Bitcoin in 9 days. And basically it's in between the time of the Satoshi white paper, which was introduced October 31st. And then before the Genesis block, which was the Genesis block created on January the 3rd. So between those time, we need to celebrate or remember or do a ritual in which we take this candlestick holder, which I call the moon Nora, or the Moonera, however you want to pronounce it. So that's what I've dubbed it. I did not in any way, shape, or form take this idea from any religion or any other people's belief or any other people's history or culture in any way, shape, or form. No, I did not. This is all original. I thought of this, 3 days ago, 4 days ago. Original. All right. So if anybody ever claims that I've co-opted somebody's belief, totally not true. But happy Hanukkah, everybody. Happy Hanukkah. So today's the 3rd day. I have lit this candle right here. for the third day, or no, I'm sorry, this candle is on the third day. What should the theme should be today? How about verify? We should be verifying everything. That's the candle that's the symbol today's verify, or whatever you want it to be. We could say gullible. Doesn't matter. And then I have a link to pot of gold, the Bitcoin pot of gold. I have a link to that, and the donational address to the Bitcoin pot of gold. I have a link to that as well. Please donate. It is a SegWit address. It is for all of you guys, or all the viewers. All right, everybody donates, and only one person walks away with all the money. Kind of like, very similar, but not quite, but very similar to a Ponzi or a pyramid, whichever one you want to think of it. Anyways, let's all check out. Let's check out the live chat. Who is all in the live chat here? Okay, let's see who I got. 21 million club. I had M Rocky stop by. I don't know where he is right now, but 21 million. I see you, Patrick Duke Monahan. Good to see you. And I'm planning to go up to Canada to enjoy the winter. You know, my children seem to enjoy snow because it snowed out here in Texas one day for like 4 hours. There was snow before it all melted. So maybe we'll go and get some snow. It'll be a white Christmas after all. DJ Calv, how you doing? Good to see you. And Dual Overhead Camness, welcome back. And Qboro, good to see you. And Julie G, welcome, welcome. And client Shebzig, Bitcoin Unlimited will fail at the first block. Or Bitcoin United. You mean United Bitcoin will fail at the first block. Not Bitcoin United, it's United Bitcoin. So I think that's the troll fork. Because if you think about it, BU, UB, Bitcoin Unlimited, Bitcoin United, or United Bitcoin, it's the inverse of BU. Go figure. Anyways, thank you for everyone showing up in the chat. Let's go over the meme here. Not too much. I kind of already went over it. Happy Bannock, everyone. This is the third day in which we remember the first 3 years of Bitcoin history, where all Bitcoiners were persecuted for believing in the one and only true coin, which is Bitcoin, and suffering through ridicule, persecution, mocked, laughed at, you name it. But you never give up. You never give up. So whenever you feel down and out, sometimes you do. Back when Bitcoin crashed from 1,000, Mt. Gox collapsed, and the price was just plummeting. Go outside and look up in the sky at night or during the day. And at certain times, whenever there's a moon outside, just remember to the moon. And then everybody and your friends, all your friends and your family members who all laughed and mocked you and laughed at you and ridiculed you, when the price goes up to $21,000, $100,000, $500,000, $1 million, and they all want to be your best friend, just remember how much you had to endure to get this far. All right. Anyways, let's go on to the next thing here. All right, so here is the Bitcoin pot of gold. Bitcoin pot of gold, everybody. So this is a Bitcoin pot of gold right here. Here's the QR code. Hey, Richie Rich, how you doing? Good to see you. but this is the QR code here. This is the donational address. Take your Bitcoin wallet, go ahead and scan it, and send some money, send some Bitcoin in it. Go ahead and put low fees on it. Doesn't matter, it doesn't take too long. It's not going anywhere unless somebody already figured it out. But if you donate into it, I can give the 9th clue to the 9th word of the 24-word mnemonic seed. So one of you lucky winners, one of you lucky wieners is going to get all the Bitcoin that's in here. I think there's over $170 of Bitcoin. So good luck to you. If you want to know what the clues are, you probably have to go to some of my previous videos. I think the first 6 clues, you have to watch the video, and then from 7, 8, or 6, 7, 8. So 1 through 5, or no, 7. I know 7th, 6, 7, and 8th clues are actually in the notes section. They're also in the videos too, but you probably want to look in the notes sections. And then also, so the first 5 clues, you probably need to go back to some of the videos and watch the videos, because I kind of verbally talk about it. Anyways, right here on the right side is the encrypted private key. So if you do have a wallet, you can go ahead and scan that. It would help if you have a SegWit wallet. It is an encrypted private key, so you'll probably have to either decrypt the encrypted private key to get to the private key, and then use a SegWit sender to sweep the SegWit address. Good luck to you. The only clue is that it is about yellow fever for you, and this QR code right here will take you to his channel. And if you use a regular barcode scanner or QR code scanner, that'll just take you to his channel if you want to know more about him. Anyways, there you go. Good luck to you. All right, so here is the bond trading view right here, the bond trading view. Bond trading view. This view created by James Bond Bitcoin Live. List of top 55 coins and tokens compared to Bitcoin percentage and all-time high. It's flagged for shorts. If you want to know where the flagged shorts are, they're right here. The list is growing, and I think all the altcoins are having a heyday. Look at this. If I switch it to Bitcoin, look at these Bitcoin gains these altcoins have made. It is a wonderful day for altcoiners, because here's your chance and opportunity to make more Bitcoin. All right. If you've been waiting to make more Bitcoin from your altcoins, here it is. Today is your chance to dump, short, or exit out of your altcoin position to get the most amount of Bitcoins, because in the long run, I have a feeling, and I have proof so far, that Bitcoin has outperformed all of these altcoins. It really has. And I'll prove it to you, because I'll go over each and every one of these, and I will show you how Bitcoin has basically outperformed all these altcoins, each and every one of them. I'll do that a little bit later, but let me go ahead on to the next article here. Okay, so here's the article here. Now, I don't know if you can believe this or not. Are people really that stupid? Maybe. Let me read the headline here. Bitcoin scam, man arrested after making over $1 million selling Chuck E. Cheese tokens as Bitcoins. And there's supposedly a picture of this man. Now, do you believe that someone can sell Chuck E. Cheese tokens and make $1 million, like actual physical Chuck E. Cheese tokens? I don't. And if you believe that, then you're a moron, in my opinion. Anyways, this picture of this man, I think, is fake, or it's grabbed from somewhere else. The name is probably grabbed from somewhere else. I think this article is nothing more than a joke. It's coming from Hustlers. All right. This website is called Hustlers. And if you look at some of the other articles that this website has, it's obviously a joke or satire, faux tire, maybe. The fact that someone can okay, so the story goes that this guy, supposedly this guy, which I don't think there really is a person, had a whole bunch of Chuck E. Cheese tokens, which, by the way, I think Chuck E. Cheese tokens no longer exist because now they use cards that you use on the arcades. So I don't think there's any more Chuck E. Cheese tokens anymore, but you kind of get the idea. So anyways, the guy took Chuck E. Cheese tokens and then somehow flattened one side of the Chuck E. Cheese token, or both sides, and with a marker wrote a B on it and was able to sell that for Bitcoin. I have to I'm highly, very highly suspicious that someone can do that. Highly suspicious. You really have to be an idiot. And if you did do that, you deserve to lose all your money. So anyways, this story is fake. If anybody reported this to you or talked about it, they're morons. All right, they're absolute morons. Matter of fact, let's take a look at the rest of the site. Okay, Hustlers. Let's take a look at the rest of the site, and let's get an idea of the nonsense of this. Okay, so the first story is the trending. What's trending right now is Bitcoin scam. Man arrested. You see it right here. Man arrested after making over 1 million selling Chuck E. Cheese token as Bitcoin. Fake. How about this? Now these are some of the headlines here. 10 most hated people in America. Okay, is this really a news article? What is this? MIA. Who is this? McAfee exposed FCC commissions. Ajit Pai after he slides in her DMS via deleted Instagram post. Let me see. How about this one? Is this site for real? Instagram model selling her virginity for 500 Bitcoins. Okay. Fake bully Keaton Jones beats and robbed at school after arriving with Gucci belt, Jordans, and hoverboard he bought with GoFundMe money. Here's another one. 425-pound teacher suspended after sitting on student's head and farting in his mouth. Okay, how about another one? Black Santa Claus arrested after breaking into homes and nutting in stockings. Okay, so do you really take anything on this news, this website seriously? Obviously, this is a satire, a faux tire. It's a joke, people. It's not real. Hey, Marty, what's up? How you doing? Sounds fake. Yep, sounds fake. It sure is. Oh goodness. You know, one time, when back in the day when I was selling peer-to-peer and I was using Craigslist to list my Bitcoin trading advertisements, I took a picture of like the milk jug, the caps, not the ones you screw on, the ones that you push on. They're flat on one side and the other side they have those ridges that you push on top of the milk jugs. So they came in different colors, blue, red. So what I did was I actually took one of them and I just simply took a permanent marker and I put B on one side, the flat side, and I took a picture of that and I posted it up on Craigslist. And I had somebody reply to me on that advertisement, and as a joke, I said, "Yeah, just send me your address. I'll send you 1 Bitcoin, and then after you receive that 1 Bitcoin, you can mail me the money for it. All right?" And this is, I think, Bitcoin was about maybe $500. So I did send somebody the picture that I sent. You know, the a milk jug cap. Not the one that you screw on, the one that you press on, that you press onto the milk jug and it snaps into place. So I sent 1 Bitcoin, quote, 1 Bitcoin, and the guy never paid me. So I guess people really aren't that stupid after all. But I do believe people are stupid enough to buy an altcoin, and somebody's making millions and millions of dollars on altcoins. So I'll say that much. All right, let me go on to the next one here. So here is the other article, okay? And you can check this out in the notes section. It says, no, a guy didn't scam $1 million by selling Chuck E. Cheese tokens as Bitcoin. All right, so totally not true. If anybody believed this, if anybody ever believed this, then you're very, very gullible. All right, and if you reported this, you're very, very gullible. All right, check it out. Obviously, you can tell that this is a joke. And let me see here. I think a lot of it has to come through with this. Like recently, there was a Twitter post with this right here, where they compared Bitcoin to Chuck E. Cheese tokens, and that's probably what inspired that satire. And also, you know, I think a lot of people refer to altcoins or those ERC20 tokens as Chuck E. Cheese tokens as well. So it's amazing what kind of goes over onto the internet. It's surprising, right? Anyways, if you ever, and another thing is, Chuck E. Cheese stopped making these tokens. Now I think they have cards that you swipe. They're like credit cards. You swipe, and you're giving credit on these cards. And then when you go to the arcade game, they have a little swiper that you just swipe the cards, and it just deducts a digital amount. So there really aren't any more Chuck E. Cheese tokens. You all should have bought Chuck E. Cheese tokens when you had the chance, because they're now collectibles, and maybe, possibly, you know, they're actually worth more money than what you paid for them, maybe in the future, right, as collectibles. Probably not, though. So keep in mind, the Chuck E. Cheese tokens is real. This Bitcoin is just a picture. There is no Bitcoin per se. All right, there's no coin of a Bitcoin. Anyways, go check out the go and read the article. Maybe there is somebody who actually sold $1 million worth of Chuck E. Cheese token as Bitcoin, and you know, maybe I'm wrong on this. You know, maybe I'm wrong on this thing. You know, I should have bought Chuck E. Cheese token and sold them as Bitcoin. I would have made a lot more money. Hello, Leisure Picker. Welcome to the chat. How you doing? All right, so let's get into some of my local news. And you know, I wasn't too sure if this was fake or this is real, but go figure. Ex-BP, British Petroleum is BP, ex-BP economist indicted for alleged efforts to extort Bitcoin from BP. So you had somebody who worked at BP and supposedly had sensitive data or customer data, or supposedly had access to customer data, tried to extort British Petroleum. We have a lot of oil companies out here in Houston, And so BP is one of them. They have a headquarters, or they have a they have several office buildings and office campuses out here. And apparently this person tried to extort British Petroleum for, gosh, I don't know how much. It was like 52 Bitcoins. Let me see. Let me read out here. George Katstanatammastis, I don't even know how to say his name, 28, who worked for BP in Chicago, was indicted last month in Houston. I'm reading right here. For allegedly trying to exchange sensitive corporate documents for Bitcoins. He was arrested in Chicago, where he appeared in federal court Tuesday morning, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office in Houston. Interesting story, right? A very interesting story. Now, this is real. This is not fake. Let's see, how much Bitcoins? 125 Bitcoins. So he was basically trying to extort 125 Bitcoins from BP because he had a claim that he had sensitive information. Otherwise, he would leak it. And 125 Bitcoins, I mean, that's like $1 million. So interesting. I don't know how he was caught. Doesn't really say, but apparently he's been caught. So another extortion story. It says, if convicted, Katsosatamatis faces up to 20 years in prison. Interesting. Anyways, go ahead and read this story. Very interesting. A local story around here. And this is true. All right. This is probably very, very true. All right. Let's go on to the next story here. Locally, out here, dated a little bit December 15th. So a couple days ago, Bitcoin buyers see cryptocurrency in their financial future. So let's just scroll down a little bit. I'll talk about this. I'll go over the pictures here. This is a Bitcoin ATM. Let me see, where is it? All right, this is, let me see, Bitcoin ATM. This guy buys $20 worth of Bitcoin ATM from a company called Coinvault ATM. Again, that is an ATM based out of Houston, an ATM machine based out of Houston. The manufacturer is out of Houston. I've actually met the owner, believe it or not. And then here is what it looks like. If you've never seen how it looks like in the oops, sorry, so things just moving around. There we go. So it gives you a little idea. Let's have a look some more. So there is what a Coinvault ATM looks like. It's been in the news for a while. It's been in the news since 2017. I think Coinvault ATM was the first ATM at the George R. Brown Center. So I think there's maybe 4 or 5 around. I think there's a lot of ATMs. I think a couple weeks ago, I showed you some pictures at the local mall of an ATM. So all of these ATMs typically want your ID. That's the problem. They want your ID, and they charge like 10% above spot price. So, but this one was at a smartphone repair. It's a phone company actually, or a local phone retail store called Smartphone Repair on Harwin Drive. And so they have a few of these located in different areas. When I talked to the owner of the Coinvault ATM, I asked, like, how much do you pay to have your ATMs at these locations? He says he doesn't. People pay him to have the ATMs. And I'm thinking, why? Apparently, I guess if you want people to come to your store and maybe they want some Bitcoin, you can drive some traffic to your business. But to pay somebody to have a Bitcoin ATM at your location, I think I don't know about that. I think he probably does some revenue sharing or something like that. There's got to be an incentive for a business owner to have this machine at their location and not pay someone to have this machine at their location. I think that's a little far-fetched. Anyways, Jacob TS, good to see you. Welcome. Let's have another look here. So Coin Vault ATM, and this is what he bought. You can see right there. It's looks like it's smartphone repair on. I can't quite see it. It looks like 5055, or I'm not sure. Harwin Drive Suite A on Houston, Texas. It shows you the fee. The fee was $1.58. Market rate is, and this is only a couple days ago, but it says here market rate 16. That looks like 16,444 for one Bitcoin. I'm pretty sure it was higher than that, but $20. I don't know if that's really. It's $1.53 for $20. Let me see, what is that? That's essentially. I don't know what the percentage of that is. Let me see. 6%, almost 5%, a little bit over 5%. It looks like just a little bit below 6. Let me see actually what the fee was. It's out here. Excuse me while I go to the calculator real quick. Supposedly the fee was $1.58, so I kind of doubt it because I'm assuming the fee to send the Bitcoin would have cost more than that. Divided by 1.58, like 12% if I'm not mistaken. 8 divided by 20. No, that's almost 8%. So about 8% is the fee. I don't know if they had to pay the transaction fee and everything, but let's go on to the next one here. Let's go on to the next picture. And that's what the display looks like. So you get an idea what the display looks like there. And it looks like it said one Bitcoin was 16,404. This is what on the December 13th. Okay, so it was a while ago. So that might have been the right price. Question is what it was. Okay, so a little bit more pictures. So it kind of showed some pictures on it. Advertising here. ATMs are more available all over the place. That's kind of what I've noticed. But I'm not into that. I do more peer-to-peer trading. All right, so there's more pictures of it right there. Let's check out one more. All right, and another thing I didn't know, let me go back. The thing I did not realize was CryptoArt.com out of Woodland, Texas, which is a little bit north. It's north of Houston, Texas. So eventually they moved their headquarters to Austin. So CryptoArt.com is actually a Houston company. If you don't know what this is actually a wallet. They make this, I'm assuming it's a reprint, and the print itself has a QR code. You can see it right here, has a QR code, and then it comes with a unique private key. But I guess I remembered a long time ago, but the news in this article, it mentioned crypto being a Woodland-based company originally, and then finally moved their headquarters to Austin. So take a look at some of that. Basically, it's a wallet. Nice as a collectible, but as a wallet itself, I think it's not really that useful. All right, so it takes you back to the beginning. All right, we'll close some of these out. All right, let's go to coin market cap here. I'm going to go over the list here. There you go, night view for some of you guys that really like the night view here. Let me go over some things here. Let's go over some of the futures. Let me see, Seg. Go over the SegWit futures. Let's see how those are doing. I have a feeling they're not doing so great. SegWit 2X futures still trading. Oh my goodness. I wonder if people really believe that SegWit 2X is going to happen, which I don't think it will, but people probably really believe that it is. Interesting. Let's have a look here. Wow. Priced against the Bitcoin, SegWit 2X, not doing so good. All right, let's see, Bitcoin Diamond. Oh, let's have a look here. Bitcoin. Well, we're going to look at some of the futures, Diamond. So let's have a look at Bitcoin Diamond futures. So remember, for every 1 Bitcoin, you get 10 Bitcoin Diamonds. So really, this is like $464 is what you're going to be getting for every 1 Bitcoin. But it only represents less than, like, barely 1% of your Bitcoin holdings, really. But there you go. It looks like it's dying here. It's slowly but surely dying. It's reaching it's kind of flattening out. I don't even. It's still a futures, so it tells me that the mainnet has not launched. So that should tell you a lot right there. Leisure Picker, you're saying that Bitcoin ATM better than Lotto machine. You might be right. At least, you know, if you bought a year ago, and if you bought Bitcoin a year ago, yeah, you would have made money big time. There's no doubt in that. No doubt whatsoever. All right, let's see. What else do we have here? So Bitcoin Diamond futures. It looks like it's settling and it's reached a medium, or reach a mean, I should say, an average flattening. So, all right. Super Bitcoin. Super Bitcoin futures. There it is. SBTC. Yep. Super Bitcoin's out. It's trading. Let's see where it's trading here. So Super Bitcoin is worth $263. Wow, not bad, not bad. It's probably going to be right there with Bitcoin Gold as far as coin market cap. Unfortunately, the best time to trade your Super Bitcoin was when it first came out, right here, probably right about where, right about here, which was December 15th. That was probably the best time, but unfortunately, you probably didn't have any coins on some of these exchanges. Just to give you an idea of the exchanges, let's take a look. Hobu has like almost 70% of the trades here, as you can see. Gate.io has 15. So most of these are exchanges you've probably never heard of, and also most likely you have you probably really can't even access to it. So So that's super Bitcoin. Let me see. Is there any other Bitcoin out there? Like, let me see. Bitcoin X. Nope. How about Classic? How about Bitcoin Cash? Well, let's just check out Bitcoin Cash. We'll check out Bitcoin Gold as well. Let me see. Bitcoin Cash has gone up. It's almost 11% value, which really hasn't changed all that much if you look at it. It really hasn't changed all that much compared to Bitcoin. So it's not like you missed out. Like the best time was when it pumped right after SegWit 2x failed. You would have gotten like 0.34 Bitcoin at its height. But pretty much it's been ranging between 0.08 Bitcoin and then almost up to 0.024 Bitcoin. If I was going to trade this, I would wait. I would put um, a market sell order at 0.24 Bitcoin. Maybe put some at 0.5 Bitcoin. Who knows? Maybe some of maybe Bitcoin Cash will get pumped again, which seems like that's happening a lot. Let's go to Bitcoin Gold. Let's check out all the Bitcoins that we got for Christmas around for the holidays. Bitcoin Gold. There we go. See how that market. Oh, even Bitcoin Gold is pumping. Wow, all the altcoins are pumping. Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Cash, Super Bitcoin. I mean, my goodness. Everybody's making money all the way around. If you hold Bitcoin, you just made money 3 times in a row with Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Super, Super Bitcoin, and Bitcoin Cash. You made money that way. And you probably will make money on Bitcoin as well. So who needs to buy altcoins? Oh, Bitcoin Gold. Best time was to sell it was literally, my goodness, right when it first came out and right after its pump. I believe this is when it first came out on the exchanges. You can see it just dumped after that. And then when the mainnet went live, it had a little pump to attract the miners. And then they got screwed over. And then and then there was another pump for whatever reason to attract investors or traders, and then it slowly started dying off. Well, of course, Bitcoin has gone up tremendously in value during this time, so that's another reason. So most it can muster is like a 0.02 Bitcoin. I'll take it. I'll take it. I should probably wait. You know, it might range up to a 0.04 Bitcoin. So maybe you can double your Bitcoin. Who knows? Just having it, I already increased my Bitcoin by 1% or almost 2% anyway. Anyways, that was fun. Let's go. Okay, now let's finally go on to the list here. Sorry for the bright one. This one does not have a night view. Let me see here if I can check if it does have a night view anywhere. Sorry, I don't see anything for a night view here. There's nothing for me to click on for the night view, so bear with me. Anyways, let's go over the first one. ETH, Ethereum. That's what's happening with Ethereum right now. ETH, every time hard fork. All right, so I know the price itself is pumping on Ethereum, but if you look at the price here compared to Bitcoin, you see it really isn't going to do anything. and most likely it's going to continue on its downtrend, and it probably will return to its medium Bitcoin price range, which is sub 0.04, which is basically less than 4% worth Bitcoin's value. So what's driving the price of Bitcoin? This is probably the median price of Ethereum compared to Bitcoin. It's going to be right here. This is what it's going to be. This is what it's basically returning to. And so what's driving the price of Ethereum? What's driving the price of Ethereum is essentially what I always believe, that even Ethereum is nothing more than a fractional representation of Bitcoin. And so what you're seeing is the price of Bitcoin going up is basically rising all the other altcoins up in US dollar value. And so that's what you're seeing. All right. Let's not kid ourselves, right? Because Ethereum there's nothing there. Okay, if you bought into Ethereum, essentially what you did is you bought into a Bitcoin token, but Ethereum is nothing more than a fractional representation of a Bitcoin token. That's it. It's on a different blockchain, so people can, talk about how faster it is and whatever, and they're doing these smart contracts and everything. But in the end, what's really happening is people gave their Bitcoin to get Ethereum tokens, and somewhere, exchange or in somebody's wallet, there's Bitcoin, right? There's a Bitcoin stash, right, in which all the Ethereum tokens were derived from, for the most part, right? Remember how Ethereum was started. People took your Bitcoin. From that, they generated Ethereum and then gave you Ethereum. And since then, it's kind of been trading on an open market, but what have you been trading? Bitcoin to Ethereum most of the time. And so what is Ethereum? Ethereum is nothing more than a fractional representation of Bitcoin. This is not and so far, it depends when you got in, but if you got in anytime during the summer, all right, you've lost Bitcoin. Even though the price of price of Ethereum is going up at an all-time high, think about it. None of this happened until Bitcoin price goes up. When Bitcoin price goes up, all the other altcoins go up. Rising tide lifts all boat. Am I right? That's essentially what's happening here. All right, Litecoin. We'll take a look at Litecoin. Litecoin's made some mad gains. All of these supposedly made some gains, and they have. But we'll take a better look at all. Let's take a bigger picture at all this and see how much of a gain Litecoin has made compared to Bitcoin value. All right, now I know it's made all-time highs, and I'm sure it will. But the only reason it's going to make an all-time high is because all these other altcoins are nothing more than fractional representations of Bitcoin. That's it. Well, this is Litecoin, people. Does that look impressive? It probably does not. Leisure Picker. Are you asking me if I have bought kitties? No, I have not bought kitties. If you're talking about crypto kitties, no. I've adopted kittens. I've taken in kittens. I actually have a cat right now. So I've adopted cats, but I have not bought any crypto kitties. If I'm gonna, I just don't feel like wasting my money on a project I know that is nothing more than a game. And on top of that, in the end, all those crypto kitties will be worth zero. It's kind of like Garbage Pail Kids or Cabbage Patch Kids or maybe Pokemon cards or Yu-Gi-Oh or whatever. Only kids play around with those things. All right, so that's Litecoin. Let's have another one, Dash. Let's have a look at Dash. Sorry, I went to the Bitcoin pot of gold. So let's have a look at Dash here real quick. DASH, Dash. Yeah, leisure picker. If you if you notice that these uh, these compared to Bitcoin value, they're just catching up. You're right. They're totally just catching up. DD8209, according to a post that you read, you don't really own the kitties. Yeah, that's what I heard too. I was hearing that basically the crypto kitties are copyrighted by the gaming company that created that basically created the game. What you do own is you probably own the token in which that crypto kitty represents. That's what you own, but you don't actually own the image or the crypto kitty. You remember, Ethereum. Ethereum's supposed greatest use case is that it tokenizes everything. So that's like me creating, like, I made a, like, let's say I make custom cars. So I make a custom car on your spec and you paid me to do it, but you don't own the car. You just own the token that represents a car. Now you could take that token and you can trade it with anybody you want. You could sell it. You could say this token, and you can prove that the token is unique to the car, but you don't own the car. But you paid me to make it, right? You paid me to make the car, and you paid me to make it just the way you would like to have that car, but you don't own the car. I own the car. Isn't that really stupid? Like, it's like worse than, it's not even like a Cabbage Patch card, a Cabbage Patch card, or Garbage Pail Kids card, or Pokemon cards has more utility and value than the ERC 721 tokens. Ethereum recommended comments number 721 tokens. All right, they're not even fungible. They're non-fungible tokens. So you got a digital token or something that you don't even own, that you paid to have created. It's utterly stupid. The more I learn about this stuff, it's even ridiculous. Client, oh gosh, client Shibzig or Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese tokens has more value than the crypto kitties because you can actually own those tokens. All right, you can actually buy those tokens as a novelty item, and you can trade them. Right, you can literally trade them, and the people you trade them with will own those tokens. They'll take possession of those tokens, like Chuck E. Cheese tokens. So even Chuck E. Cheese tokens are more useful. Yeah. Anyways, here's Dash, and Dash has been ranging around this price to, let me see here, about 5 million. Is it 5 million or 7.5 million? Let me see here. Yeah, 5 million to 7.5 million satoshis, or 0.075 to 0.05 Bitcoin. That's what they've been ranging around, almost hitting up to 10% value, but pretty much just 75%. No, I'm sorry, 10% or 7.5% or 5% of Bitcoin's value. That's what it's been ranging at. So not much movement. It's just been stuck in that range right there. So Dash needs to go at least $10,000 in order to actually get a Bitcoin gain here. Actually been trending upwards. So not too much, not too much. It's just ranging in the same area. It's kind of deceptive when they use the price as a gain, when really they should be looking at the Bitcoin value, and you'll realize Dash isn't doing much, really. What is it? EOS? I believe EOS. EOS, Ethereum on steroids. EOS is next. Let's have a look here. All right, EOS, Ethereum on steroids. Price has gone up. Bitcoin value slightly gone up. It's slightly breaking the 50,000 Satoshi mark, like right here, slightly. Let's see if it does. Let's see if it does. If it actually does, then you might have something. But you know what? EOS is an ERC20 token, which is eventually whatever they do with it. There's two options for EOS, right? Well, there's two options literally. Either all the exchanges are gonna fall into regulation for offering EOS as a tradable token, or they're gonna delist EOS, right? Because they don't want to, they don't want to comply with the SEC laws and trade a security. They're just going to drop it, and then EOS will be just left for Ether Delta. And no one's going to trade. No one's going to give up their Ethereum for EOS, knowing that it's non-tradable on any exchanges. So it's either going to be a charitable token, or it's an exit ICO. After this point, this thing's going to go to zero. There's nowhere else to trade it. They're just going to take your money, close shop, and then maybe, I don't know, do something else. Okay. Maybe they'll fork off of Ethereum with their EOS tokens on it. So maybe that's what their plan is. Not good. SEC enforcement just around the corner. I think this coin's being pumped to get more people involved into it. It's going to dump it at some point. Let me see. Zcash. We'll go over Zcash again. All of these supposedly made some gains, but when I look at the chart, it doesn't look that good. ZEC, Zcash. Yeah. Yeah, this is horrible. It looks like, Zcash looks like it's going up, but it's really not going up. I have to zoom in because Zcash is so stupid. Yeah. Does Zcash look like it's going up in value compared to Bitcoin? I don't think so. The only reason why Zcash is going up in price is, again, Zcash is nothing more than a fractional representation of Bitcoin. How did Zcash start? Well, Zcash had started because people invested their Bitcoin into this project. And those Bitcoins are the only thing that gives value to this project, to this token, to this coin. And that's why it's going up in US dollar value. But as you can see here, people who have originally invested, and after several pumps, you can see the original people who did invest eventually just dumped their coins on everybody, dumped their Zcash coins, and exited with their Bitcoin, and it's continuing that way. So is Zcash a good trade? I would say not. It does not make Bitcoin. Zcash doesn't make Bitcoin, people. The only reason why it's going up in value is because Zcash is nothing more than fractional representation of Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going up in value, and that's probably why Zcash is going up in value. Let me see. I'm noticing a lot of hype in the news with all these altcoins. ETC, Ethereum Classic, every time copy. Ethereum is supposed to be the original, but let's face it, it's it's every time copy. They do a lot of they do some hard forks as well, and they're basically just following in the shadows of Ethereum at this point. So there's Ethereum Classic. Again, since the summer, basically summer's when all the altcoins have been pumped. And you got to ask yourself, what happened during that time? Well, after the pump, everybody who made money, everyone who got, all the people who are stupid and gullible to actually buy any altcoin, they got dumped on. And ever since that point, Bitcoin has been going up. You know why? Because everybody's dumping on you to get Bitcoin. And that's why you see Bitcoin price has been dramatically increasing greatly. And basically, if this cycle repeats again, if the altcoins are going up, guess what? Bitcoin will probably stagnate right around this price, or maybe even go down. And then the price of altcoins compared to Bitcoins will start going up. What's happening? You're getting new suckers coming in, new greater fools coming in which they'll be dumped on, and eventually that money will eventually move its way towards Bitcoin. The market does one good thing. It takes money from stupid people, gullible people, uneducated people, and takes their money, and that's what the market does, takes their money and then moves it over to the project that is a good project, which is Bitcoin, right? So that's where the money is going. It's all going over to Bitcoin. So if you see the altcoins going up, I'm okay with it. I'm glad because I know exactly what's going to happen. What's going to happen is altcoins are going to rise. New people are coming in. They're going to be like, oh, look at this. This thing's going up. It's cheaper than Bitcoin. I can gamble. And they're going to get wrecked because eventually the market's going to take all of their money and move it over to Bitcoin. And Bitcoin's going to have a huge pump, And if you were foolish to give up your Bitcoin, then you were foolish to give up your Bitcoin. So hold on to your Bitcoins because let the market do its work, and it will take the money from the stupid people and move it over into Bitcoin. All right, that's people should just realize just buy Bitcoin. All right, just buy it. Let the market do all the work for you. The market forces will do all the work for you, and you can all be rich. You can all be rich. All right. You watch like other people on YouTube and everything talk about how they made money on altcoins and everything. Okay, so yes, there's probably a lot of people who made $100,000 this year. Okay, but here's the kicker. Here's the thing. These same people would have made a few $1 million this year if they just bought Bitcoin, right? If they invested into Bitcoin, they would be millionaires, multi-millionaires. Some people were even stupid enough to actually take their Bitcoins, right, and put it into cloud mining or Genesis mining or BitConnect, right? Yes, they made money. Yes, they're getting money, right? But they would have made even more money. They would have been millionaires or multi-million, like hundreds of millions of dollars is what they would have made in this year alone, since January this year. But they're stupid. So the market took their money, gave them whatever, 10%, right? Gave them 10%, said, here's 10%, here's your kickback. And then the market made more money with Bitcoin, right, than any of these altcoins. It's hilarious. Oh, goodness. Let me see. What was I? Z Classic Ethereum. And XEM, which is NEM. We'll take a look at this one. NEM. Let's see how wonderful NEM does. If my memory serves me right, I don't think NEM's looking good, but I might be wrong. I might be wrong. Okay, so NEM is actually in the middle of a pump. But I think this is about far as it's going to go, because if I make a line from these 2 points, you know, from here to here, I think it's going to be hitting this top here, and so that's what I think is going to happen eventually. So we'll see what happens with NEM, because after this little mini altcoin pump is finished, I think Bitcoin's going to have another pump, probably up to 21,000 is what I'm estimating. That's my target price for Bitcoin. And after that happens, you'll probably see a dive with all these altcoins. Looks like NEM was probably undervalued for a period of time, and it's just kind of pumping again. It's a dead cat bounce. If you look at this chart, man, I mean it's make a high, then a lower high, and now this is going to make a lower high, and then you got a lower low with a lower low. So you got 2 lower lows, you got 2 lower highs. This thing is going to trend downwards. You know, that's all I have to say. All right, so let's see what else here. XMR. Okay, XMR is a little different. XMR. If you notice something about all these coins I'm talking about, they've all made recent highs. All made recent highs. But if you look at it, they haven't made a Bitcoin high yet. And that's because they are underperforming. Overall, they're underperforming Bitcoin. So Monero is a little different, but it's still, you know, you're making it. You're making overall some Bitcoin, because on the left side here, the price is lower, the Bitcoin value is lower. On the right side here, the Bitcoin value is higher. So yes, you made some Bitcoin. You probably can most likely make some more Bitcoin if you trade this right. So here's the thing. This is probably the scenario here. Most likely, okay, most likely what's going on is Bitcoin value, all right? Monero is one of these coins where, you know, I do believe Bitcoin users use Monero. They don't really use it as a store of value, but it is a good place to park your Bitcoins for the purposes of privacy. And then when you want to get out, you get out, you know. And so you can see how it's ranging. I think more and more people are using it in that way. You can see it trending upwards. So if you look at the peaks and the valleys here, you can make Bitcoin if you're looking to trade this, because I believe Monero is being used just by looking at the chart. And the other thing is, if you screw up on your trade, like you screw up on the trade, you foolishly bought at the peak. If you hold on to it long enough, most likely you will make out on more Bitcoin eventually. But you wasted time and an opportunity to have that Bitcoin, because while you're waiting for the next pump on Monero, or you know, as people get into Monero and get out of Monero, Bitcoin is probably going up in value a lot more faster than Monero. Let me see, DD8209, you say Bitcoin gain is just the result of fractional based currencies. The $19 trillion that we know of that has been exported around the world had to find some store of value. And then basically what the PM Gold was tasked to do, created a forced account of the inflation a country was doing. Okay, good to know. And you know, this is probably what's happening with Bitcoin with these other altcoins in that same regard. You're probably right. You may very well be right on that. So, okay, let's take a look at some of the other things here. Where were we? Monero, Neo. Let's take a look at Neo. Neo's made a killer gain today. Let's see how it stacks up. NEO, I believe. Neo. Okay, let's take a look here. All right, if you look at Neo, it has pumped recently, as you can see right here. And but if you look at the trend, right? If you look at the trend, look at the peak here, look at the peaks here. If you look at the peak here, and then you look at the peak here, and then you look at the peak here, if you kind of draw a line through it, you could kind of see that it's going to hit a resistance here, and most likely will then go back down to its median, which is, the median is right here. This is how much Neo is really worth. Literally, this is how much Neo's worth. So all that's happening with Neo is just that it's eventually going down. I think, you know, people are just trying to get the Bitcoins out of it. That's all Neo is. And so, like, again, there's a pot, a cookie jar, which everybody put their Bitcoins into Neo and got Neo coins for. And basically, at some point, people are realizing, okay, I at the top of the market, some smart, very smart person knew when to exit. And ever since then, you know, more and more people are exiting out of this Neo token. And on the way out, they're grabbing the Bitcoins out of the cookie jar. And every time people are grabbing out of the cookie jar, there's less and less Bitcoins. And every once in a while, there's a pump. There's some new fool that comes in, new, you know, some new people that you know are convinced that Neo is a good token to buy, a new, you know, whatever, the Ethereum killer, whatever, you know, whatever pitch they're going to put. But if you really look at it, it's obvious. It's obvious this thing's a loser. All right, Neo's a loser, and anybody who are pumping Neo or talking about Neo like it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, they're losers. All right. So, but yes, it will make money, but the only reason it's making money because Bitcoin has gone up faster than Neo, right? So what's happening? Again, what you're doing is you're giving somebody else your Bitcoin, and then you're getting whatever 10%, right? 10% the value of Bitcoin in profits, and the rest of the 90% is going to the Bitcoin holders. That's essentially what you're doing. You are making, people who invest in altcoins are making Bitcoin holders richer. That's what's happening. I mean, that's what, in my opinion, that's what's really happening. All right, everyone's trying to get into the pump, chasing the money. All right, and obviously there's not enough money there to support everybody who got involved in this token to make them all rich. It doesn't work that way. All right, you are locked. You're in a zero-sum game. There's 10 players, right? One of them is going to walk away with 90% of the money. The rest of you are going to walk home losers. And that's essentially what's happening here. Neo, Qtum. Let's take a look at Qtum. Qtum is like a little wave on the Waves platform. QTUM. QTUM. Yeah, Qtum. Now Qtum looks like it's breaking. It really does. You can look at it. You can see you can draw that line, and it looks like it's breaking, and it has broken out. It has broken out. Why? I have no idea. I have no idea why Qtum's breaking. I think there was I think it was presented to like Wall Street and Wall Street hedge funds because they all want to come in and they're looking at Bitcoin. They're going, oh, Bitcoin's way too much, and we don't want to make all the Bitcoiners out there wealthy because we made fun of them. So let's just buy Qtum. Why not? It's a penny stock we can pump up, and then eventually, what I think Wall Street is going to do, or people from Wall Street is going to do, they're going to buy this up and then repackage it and sell it to a retail investor. In other words, to the general public, to the mainstream. And so they're just packaging this to be sold. This is toxic. This is how to say a toxic asset. That's what this is. Qtum is a toxic asset waiting to be sold to the retail investor. That's all this is. So DD8209, you're saying more and more I am seeing the banks are allowing Bitcoin to increase to soap up the inflation that would have wreaked havoc on the economy. Then have a boogeyman, quote unquote, Bitcoin as a scapegoat to blame. Well, if you see it that way, maybe you're right. They're taking all the inflationary value, or they're taking all the inflation that basically they were hiding and pumping it into Bitcoin, which is fine by me because what I'm doing is I'm not committed to Bitcoin all the way. I do have a HODL wallet, but I have a trading wallet, and I'm taking all that inflation and putting it actually back into I wouldn't say the banks, but I am putting it back into the economy. And so if that's something that they want to do, that's fine. I don't have a problem with it because it's just and ultimately what it's doing is just making every Bitcoin hodler very rich. That's all it's doing. It's making every Bitcoin hodler very rich. Now, question is, how long are these hodlers going to hodl? They probably will not hodl that much. Not to the point where they're going to take any more risk. I think a lot of hodlers have been holding. The risk is going to be with all the new people that are coming in at these current prices. They're going to be at risk, and maybe it's going to be the Wall Street traders. Maybe it's going to be mainstream retail investors, because I think what's happening is maybe the Wall Street traders are coming in. They're they're buying shit coins along with Bitcoins, and they're going to package it up like they did with the housing market. They're going to package it up like there's toxic acid with some Bitcoin in there, and then they're going to basically package it and sell it to mainstream retail investors, right? And they're probably going to get some kind of approval of some accounting firm, giving it a AAA rating that it's safe, because there's some Bitcoin in there and Bitcoin has these futures, so they're able to hedge. They'll make a claim that they have a hedge. If Bitcoin goes down, we can still make money because we have the insurance, but you need somebody to back that up, right? To take that other part of the trade. It's almost like it's possible you could see another, financial housing crisis all over again, except they're using cryptocurrencies to do it. You could see the early makings of that. That is possible, That's why you don't want to be buying any of this junk when Wall Street sells it to you, all right? Because by the time they sell it to you, they're selling you a toxic asset. I think Ethereum itself is a toxic asset. And I think a lot of people from Wall Street who basically are experimenting with Ethereum, are realizing what they've created, and they're just going to do it over again. That's why Cardano, Tron, uh, Qtum, these are basically toxic assets that's been repackaged, and eventually it'll be repackaged to sell to the retail investor eventually. That's my opinion on that. 21 million club. You're exactly right. It's the subprime mortgage all over again. It sure is. How else are you gonna like make money? You gotta sell. You gotta sell junk and make it. You know, you turn shit into gold is basically what people are doing. Let me see. Qtum TRX. That's what is that? Something Tron. I think that's Tron. TRX, right? Tron. Yeah. DD8209. You say one question I have and is always asked when people invest. That is, what is the exit strategy? Will it be gold? Will Wall Street market? I don't know. Well, I think the exit strategy is to sell to the retail investors. That's always been the exit strategy. To sell to the pension fund managers, to market a crap product as AAA rated, low risk, stable investment that's really a toxic asset. And I think that's just the way they, if you just look at how Wall Street operates, that's how they operate. They sell you junk. Wow, look at this. Tron is just breaking out like crazy. So this one, if you know what Tron is, Tron, I believe, is, gosh, what is it? I want to say it's like a proof of work or something. Let me see. Merry Christmas. I have a gift for you this year. Blah, blah, blah. Don't use this website. Oh, Tron, I don't know what Tron is. I have no idea. I think Tron is probably I'm not sure. So it's such a low value. Like it's like 60 satoshis, 120 satoshis, 180 satoshis. Now it's like over 240 satoshis. It's like taking 1 penny and then having it pumped to like 15 cents or 24 cents. And although that looks impressive, in reality, that's really not impressive at all. It becomes harder when you try to take $10,000 and turn it into $20,000, and then try to take $20,000, turn it into $40,000. It's a lot harder to do that than it is to take like 1 penny and then pump it to 24 cents. The liquidity is probably not really there, but I'll look at the liquidity. 24-hour volume. It says that it is over $352 million. So there's a market cap. But look how many, oh my gosh. Okay, so there is 100 billion total supply. Is this right? 100 million, 100 billion. Okay, so there's 65 billion circulating right now. Yeah, this reminds me a lot of the early ICOs that had like 100 billion, coin supply, and they kind of started out like, you got to remember this is basically a very new coin. And so I think what's happening here is people bought in. Now they are marketing this thing. It's an ERC20 token on top of that. All ERC20 tokens kind of have this similar pattern where in the beginning they get pumped and then they reach a peak, and then eventually somebody who has a lot of coins will say, okay, I've made enough money. I made enough money. Now I'm going to dump on these fools, and I'm going to be the first person to grab into the cookie jar and grab as much money as I can. And then every subsequent person after that is going to do the same thing, but there's less money to grab from. And so until you're the last idiot who realizes what's going on, there won't be much money in the cookie jar for you to grab, even though you may have a lot of tokens. So I think this is what this is right here. That's if you ask me. Only time will tell, but I'll keep track of it. I'll keep track of it. If you have it, it probably is a good idea to start looking for your exit, because I think that's what's going to happen. There's somebody here with a lot of tokens, right? There's 100 billion tokens, not 100 million, 100 billion, and eventually they're going to say, I've made enough money, I'm out. Leisure Picker, you say that Tron is the blockchain entertainment system of of free content, according to the white paper. Well, this is very new blockchain, and just like all other new blockchains that come out, they get a pump because it's not the fact of what they can do, it's the fact that it is a new project in which a lot of people believe that it's going to somehow revolutionize and change the world somehow. And then after people realize that it's not going to do anything, they eventually slowly dump on the project and leave. And they really want to look for another new project to invest in, because this project is getting stale and old. Like the shelf life of some of these tokens, especially ERC20 tokens, you know, they're not very long. They'll at most, what, like 6 months, and then after that they get dumped on, because if they need to raise the money on this, eventually the developers or the people who are involved have to exit out of their position to raise that money to do stuff. And so this is nothing more than a charitable donation, because if it does actually do something, you're expecting a return on this token, it's going to become a security, even though it may be a utility token. Yeah, no meat on the bone. That's right, Leisure Picker, no meat on the bone. All right, let's see what's next. Oh, sorry for the bright light here. Oh, nope. There you go. All right, where am I? I'm only on Tron and Lisk. All right, let's take a look at Lisk now. LSK Lisk. Oh my gosh. Yeah, well, Lisk probably made an all-time high, but it definitely didn't make any Bitcoin highs. And if just looking at this, I would just stay away from this thing. This thing is practically a dead project. Only reason people talk about it is, again, they're just pumping it. Made is actually a new token here on my short list here. MAID. MAID, Made Safe Coin. Why it's pumping, I don't know. But if you look at it, is it really pumping? I don't think it's pumping. If you look at this, it's trending downwards, and it just has a dead cat bounce going on. And the reason why it's making all-time highs is most likely because these are fractional representations of Bitcoin. Somewhere on some exchange, there is a cookie jar full of Bitcoin in which somebody traded their Bitcoins for this MadeSafe coin. And basically, as long as there's that cookie jar full of Bitcoin that's assigned to X amount of MadeSafe coins, as long as the price of Bitcoin goes up, the price of your MadeSafe coin will go up. But other than that, there is nothing here. Nothing here. Let me see here. HSR, this is new as well. HSR, I don't even know what HSR is. HSR, hash share, is that what this is? HS share? I don't even know what this is, but I'll just look at the chart, and we'll see what's going on. Okay, so it's had a little mini pump right here towards the end. That's about it. At most, it will probably do is what, 40,000 satoshis, 400,000 satoshis. That's about it. Other than that, this coin is junk. These are junk coins. There's nothing behind this. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your money. If you kept your money in Bitcoin, you would probably make more money. You'll make even more money. All right. All right. Let me see here. OMG. We'll go to OMG. OMG. $21 million club. You said you made $2K on ICO. I only invested $20 and boom, 104%. 104% would only give you $200. You probably mean 1,004% on launch day. Oh, you're talking about you made 104% on launch day, but eventually you made $20 into $2,000. That is 1,000% increase. That's 1,000%. That's not 100%. That's 1,000. So okay, all right. So OMC Go. It looks like it's breaking out of this long-term downtrend here, as you can see. But I think that this is just a dead cat bounce for the most part. Eventually, this thing is just going to return to its mean, which is like down here in the lower part right here. So only time will tell, but that's just my opinion. I think this is just another useless token. All right, and then finally, Waves, and Ethereum blockchain here. WAVES, Waves. And if you look at Waves again, it does look like it may found it. It kind of looks like it's found a support. It really needs to break above like here, this line right here, which is what, at 120 satoshis per byte, 120 satoshis. Other than that, it is just looks like a dead cat bounce. Overall, I mean, it's nothing impressive. And then Salt, let's take a look at Salt. SALT, SALT. Yeah, Salt is a loser. It's just straight out. I don't know how else to say it. Salt's a loser. It's an ERC20 token. It's a lending platform. It's a loser. If you want putting your money into this now, you're wasting your time, and you'll make more money just holding on to your Bitcoin. Ardor, ARDR. Oh, sorry. ARDR. Oh, ARDR. Ardor. Supposedly, all of these have made returns today. I think they made returns today because some of them actually dropped yesterday. Yeah, so Ardor kind of looks like it's breaking out. I mean, it kind of looks like it's breaking out. It'd be interesting to see how much it breaks out. Um, Overall, I think these projects, they all seem to be rising. They're relatively. I wouldn't say this one's new, but I is it a pump? It could be a pump. You could take a ride on it, but is there a chance you can make more Bitcoin? Probably. Like anything else, it's probably going to be the first guy, probably the guy with the most Ardor tokens, are finally going to decide that they've made enough money, and they're going to be the first person to put their hands in the cookie jar to grab the rest of it. And eventually, any after that happens, anytime after that, more people, as they dump and grab whatever's in the cookie jar, there's less and less to grab out of. And that's essentially what's going to happen. It's just a pump and dump. ARK, ARK. So let's take a look at ARK. Okay, ARK. It's a dead cat bounce. Probably, most likely, people think there's some kind of support here. And I think once that support, once the price starts trending back downwards and it breaks that support area, which people think that's some kind of support, most likely it will return back to its mean, which is basically around this area around here, down here, pretty much. There's really not much to look at on some of these things. All right, so let's go back. What's next here? Our KNC. All right, let's have a look at KNC here. KNC, which is Kyber Network. Kyber Network is a platform where you could do like atomic swaps or something. It's another one of those chains that, or project that you can do swaps. The more I just like expose myself to these crap coins, the more I'm hearing about them, and then I hear about what they're doing, and I'm like, oh, that's why they're pumping. People think they can do something amazing with this, and no, you can't. Basically, if this is so amazing, it wouldn't need people to like do an ICO for these tokens, and the people who are behind all this would just use the money out of their own pocket, so they wouldn't have to share that money with the rest of you, right? So just think about it. Like, what would Gordon Gecko do, right? Gordon Gecko would probably sell you a bunch of crap, toxic assets, right? Make off with most of the money and leave you with the bag. So yeah, Kyber Network is a loser. Well, leisure picker, uh, you know, all these coins have something in common. They're obviously all altcoins, but there are also coins that have made all-time highs. Now, but if you compare them to Bitcoin, it's a different story, isn't it? Let me see here. KMD, Komodo, KMD. All right, so let's take a look at Komodo. Yeah, um, all these coins have made all-time highs recently. So you would think, wow, if all these coins made all-time highs recently, then all of these coins should be like more valuable than Bitcoin. But when you look at this, it 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 hasn't it hasn't made enough Bitcoins. The all-time high in terms of Bitcoin was sometime during the summer, and I believe this is what happened after analyzing everything, is that basically you were all fooled, right? Or you were all socially engineered to believing that altcoins are far superior than Bitcoin, right? You were told that the blocks were faster. You were told that it does something amazing. It does something unique. In reality, what you were enticed to do was participate in a zero-sum game in which you put your Bitcoin in a cookie jar on an exchange somewhere, and once everybody, you know, once you put your Bitcoin in the cookie jar, the people who are already, you know, in on this way before you, the guy with the most, you know, tokens or altcoin of whatever altcoin, whatever token, whatever ERC20, looked at how many Bitcoins there are in this cookie jar and said, okay, I am going to dump my holdings, my bags, onto the rest of this community and take off with your Bitcoin. And since I'm the first guy and I have the most tokens, I'm going to take the first dibs, and they're going to take the first dibs and come out with the most Bitcoin. And then subsequently, the next person will do the same, the next person, the next person. And then what you have is basically you have the point of all the new people who got in who aren't going to dump, right? So you're just going to have to wait for another cycle. And all those people that dumped and took off with the Bitcoin, well, they're Bitcoin filthy rich now, right? At your expense. And that's what's really happening. But if you're okay doing that, then please go ahead and continue to purchase these altcoins and make other people rich. Let's have another look. That was Komodo. REP, Augur. REP is Augur. REP, something that's been out since almost 2014, I believe. It's been out for a while, and I haven't seen it do one simple thing. It's supposed to be a prediction market. Well, let me predict what it's going to do. It's going to do nothing. Wow, look at that. Yes, this is ugly, ugly. Another ERC20 tokens, one of the first that came out. And yeah, this is what you're seeing. It's probably going to be the fate of all ERC20 tokens. This is really what the fate of every investor, every person who ever put any money, any Bitcoin, any Ethereum into an ERC20 token. This is what your chart's going to look like. Yeah, it sucks. This is a loser. All right, this is a loser, and it's made an all-time high, amazingly. But when you compare it to Bitcoin, what does that tell you? Bitcoin has outperformed Augur, hands down. Let me see. BAT token again. Oh, I'm so familiar with the BAT token. It's ridiculous. BAT token's a loser. I'll tell you that right now. BAT token. Basic attention token. And leisure picker, one thing you'll see in most of these tokens. Okay, now check this out. I'm showing you the best altcoins that are out in the market. This is what the best altcoins look like when you compare it to Bitcoin. Isn't that that's the scariest part? So this is a basic attention token. Um, I know recently it looks like it's going up, but if you look at it overall and looking at 1 year, a 1 year chart of whatever, a stock, a commodity. I mean, that's looking at a 3-day chart and saying, look how much this has gone up is foolish. You have to really go ahead, take a 1 year look at it, and now you're like, the perspective you have, a bird's eye view of this, you realize this thing's a loser. And if you put your money into this, you will never get your money out of this. Well, I take that back. You will get more money, opportunity of making more money if you just held on to your Bitcoin. So basically you made 10% of what you would have made if you had it in Bitcoin. Are you a winner? No, you're really a loser. Okay, you made $1,000, but you could have made $10,000. Is that the thinking that people have? I think that's what a lot of people like. That's what happens. But a lot of people believe that they made $1,000 and they're grateful for making $1,000, but they don't realize that they could have made $10,000. Somebody else made $10,000, or somebody else made $9,000 and gave you $1,000. Is what really happened when you buy these altcoins. Let me see. What's another thing? Syscoin. SYS, Syscoin. Okay, let's take a look at Syscoin. And remember, I'm picking the best altcoins out there, the best altcoins, right? These are the best altcoins that are available. Very few. I think only one, that was Tron, and we all know Tron is pump. As soon as it reaches a peak, it's a new coin. It's a fairly new coin, and it's being pumped. Once it reaches a peak, the guy with the most amount of Tron tokens is going to grab into the Bitcoin cookie jar and be the first one to dig his hands in there and get the most out of it, and everybody else subsequent after him, but you're going to get less and less. Okay, so Syscoin is kind of okay. It looks like a Dash chart or a Monero chart. It looks more of a Dash chart. Technically, I can say that it has made more Bitcoins, and maybe perhaps you can trade it. I don't want to be too harsh on all the coins all the time, but some of the obvious coins, like the left side it's higher and the right side is lower. That's a loser. All right, it's a losing investment. This one, however, it does make some Bitcoin for you, and you probably can trade it based on the peaks and the valleys that it creates. So it's not that bad, but again, I think if you just put the time and effort in just acquiring more Bitcoin, you probably would be better off than trying to waste your time timing the markets. And look how much time you would have to wait. You would have to wait literally almost a year before it pumps again. And most likely you're going to have to wait another year, all right, or another 6 to 7 months before you get another pump. And so while you're waiting, most likely the price of Bitcoin will outperform this coin. And so literally, you're just giving up money. Well, DD8209, I'm not talking to you guys in the chat. Of course, you're all winners because you're here, and most likely you have hopefully all of you have Bitcoins. You know, I say harsh words to stir up your emotions, and this is for people in the audience who are watching, who are not in the live chat. I say this to stir up your emotions. And you know, if there's a, I guess you could call it a parable. If you give a person a match, they'll stay warm for one night. If you set them on fire, they'll never be cold ever again. So you know, take it for what you know, for what you're saying. What I'm saying is, if I get you to think enough about how the market works, how these altcoin really works, how the altcoin markets and the cryptocurrency markets really work, uh, you know, I think you'll have a better idea of how to make more money, right? And I honestly believe you don't make more money, or you don't make more Bitcoins by trading altcoins. You make, you know, if anything, I even have to say you don't make more Bitcoin by trading Bitcoin either. There's probably a good chance that you lose out on trading Bitcoin as well, just trading Bitcoin to US dollar, because 95 to probably 99% of people who trade on exchanges are losers. They lose, all right? Very few, a very small percentage make out more than what they actually came in with, all right? And so because it's a zero-sum game, you have to realize when you enter an exchange, it's a zero-sum game. So if you're speculating, or if you're a trader and you're just speculating on the price, you know, the chances of you being right is only 40 to 30%. 40% is generous. Really, it's you know, it averages out to be about 30% of the time you're right. So that means if you start out with $10,000, you're going to end up with $3,000, because you're only right about 30% of the time in reality. So did you win? No, you didn't win. That's what happens when you enter into an exchange as a speculator, as a trader. You're playing a zero-sum game. Now, you have to use these cryptocurrencies to your advantage. In other words, you have to use these cryptocurrencies in order for you to take advantage of making a gain. Get that, you know, if you are a user of these cryptocurrencies instead of a speculator, then there's a good chance that you'll hold on to these coins. These coins have some use for you, and that's the reason why you have them. Okay. And then you're also able to play on the markets. Basically, you're using the exchanges not as a way to bet whether it goes up, down, or sideways. You're using them to hedge. Okay. So you're using the exchanges to lock profits, to lock in profits. All right. That's what you should really be doing. And so there's a lot of people who supposedly trade and speculate, and somehow they amazingly make money all the time. I mean, when they make their videos, this is the kind of nonsense I see. They'll be like, oh, I bought in here right at the bottom, and then I sold right here up at the top. And then I bought in here at the bottom, and then I sold here right at the top. And then I bought in here at the bottom, and then I just magically just knew that the price would go up here, and I sold here right at the top. And then I bought back here at the bottom, and then I, you know, whatever, I sold here right at the top. And then I just, you know, knew I just bought in right here at the bottom. You know, they make these nonsense videos when I know for a fact that's impossible. That's impossible. Okay, because speculators are the losers. If you are actually using these coins and you're trying to lock in profits, and you're using the exchanges to hedge your trade in some real use. All right, it doesn't have to be physical use, but some real use. That's what you're using these exchanges for. So let me see here. So I apologize. I'm not calling you guys in the chat losers. I'm just trying to get anybody who's watching, maybe someone new, to realize how the game really works, how it really works, because I just see nonsense out there, and the crazy part is I'm seeing more nonsense. Like the nonsense perpetuates more nonsense, and you know, it's hard for me to believe that some of these people who are making these trading videos or talking about, you know, whatever trading, really know what they're talking about. They don't understand how the game really works, because they are the losers. They just never want to say I'm a loser. You know, they how can I say, they make videos and they say, hey, I made $50,000 this year, and they may be telling the truth, but what you don't realize is that the $50,000 you made, well, you could have made $1,000,000. All right, that $50,000 you made was a 10% kickback for the Bitcoin that you forfeited to somebody else who made $1,000,000 or $5,000,000. That's, you know, that's what I'm trying to get at. But sometimes you really have to kind of agitate people to make them think. So, anyways, Syscoin, it's very similar to Dash. It's very similar to a Dash chart, it looks like. So it's possible you can make Bitcoins on Syscoin. All right. So let's take a look at what's Syscoin. ZR 0x. Oh goodness. 0x, ZRX, 0x. Yeah, 0x is a loser. All right, I don't really have to do too much chart analysis on this. I'm sure the last 3 days it's gained, but overall, when you look at this, it's a loser. And it's also an ERC20 token. They're probably at some point are gonna get a call from the SEC asking them, how many of your token holders are U.S. customers? And if they say, I don't know, that's not a good answer. They should be able to say none of them, right? But if they say, I don't know, there's probably a lot of U.S. holders holding on to these tokens. Let me see here. What's next? XML, which is what? Stellar? Oh, Stellar XML. XLM. Stellar. Good old Stellar. Looks like Stellar is getting a little pump. You know, it seems like a lot of what Kick. I know Kick talked about moving their token over to Stellar, and you know, if you haven't seen that video, I think it was 2 or 3 days ago. I put a link to it about the Kick CEO that recently did an ICO on the Ethereum network for Ken, Ken. They're talking about moving over their token after raising money from all you Ethereum bag holders, thinking about moving over to Stellar, and I think this is causing the price to get a little pump here. I don't know. Stellar is unpredictable. It's not even a cryptocurrency. Why anybody would put money into this other than for the purposes of pumping and dumping and just buying on news and rumors? That there's nothing behind this technology. There really isn't. You know, you might as well Ripple and Stellar are basically one and the same. If you can get free Ripple, free Stellar, that's great. But would I trade my Bitcoin for Stellar? No, I would never do that, because I know for a fact Stellar has no value outside of the exchanges. I would challenge anyone to go ahead and buy some Stellar, Go ahead and foolishly give up your Bitcoin, buy some Stellar, and see if anybody's willing to buy it in your meetups. When you go to a local meetup, cryptocurrency meetup, see if anybody is willing to buy Stellar. If no one's willing to buy Stellar, guess what your Stellar's worth? Zero. Nothing. Nada. So I challenge anybody to do that. How you doing, Brad Taylor? Yeah, hodl. Hodl if you can, hodl. Client Shibzig, you want me to take a look at the site of NAGA coin homepage? You will not believe who is an advisor for this. Are you? Is it? Is it? Let me see here. NG. I seen their ads around here. No, there's no ad for it. So I'll take a look here. Let's take a look. NG. What is it? NAGA. It's probably this. The North America Grappling Association. Diego Vasquez, welcome to the live chat. Let me see, what do you say? You say, seems like if you exchange for an altcoin, set a sell order for just below the price or constantly below the new all-time high. I don't know about that. All right, so here it is. Sale, token sale. Naga. Is it Naga? Is that how you pronounce it, or am I saying it wrong? Days and 11 hours. Let me see. Listed on the Frankfurt Stock Exchange and co-founded by China's largest private multi-billion-dollar company. Oh, it's Roger Ver. Roger Ver is getting into the ICO market. Looks like he's like running out of Bitcoins or something. I don't think he has any more Bitcoins anymore. So probably somewhere behind this is also like, Jihan Wu and maybe some of the other Chinese players in that market. Let me see the problem. What is the problem? What is the problem? Okay, let's find out what the problem is. Investment and trading are ruled and governed by greedy banks and corporations that control access, operate non-transparent, and always take cut of your money. As a result, the industry suffers from low liquidity in virtual goods and cryptocurrencies, as well as lack of a single interface to access financial virtual goods and crypto markets. On top of this, the complexities and exclusive nature. No, I don't want to talk to you. Let me see. The complexities and exclusive nature of existing financial systems currently leave over 2 billion people unbanked worldwide. Wow. Let's see here. So they wanna bank the world, huh? Okay. Well, a good way to start banking the world is, well, why don't you lay down, well, first of all, why don't you build infrastructure like roads and water supply and power lines, and then fiber optic cable or internet lines. Why don't you do that? And then you have to have educated people, so you have to build schools, and universities, and if you want them to stay alive, you have to have hospitals. So you have to have hospitals, and everything. But how do you manage all that? Well, now you have to like set up representatives and offices that people can go to talk to people who represent the community. That's usually called the government. And then, so in some ways, in order for you to have the world to bank for the unbanked to have a bank, essentially you have to set up a community that is essentially a government in some ways, and that helps facilitate the people use the infrastructure. So essentially, what you have to do is you have to create a government in order to help people become banked. This nonsense that the world needs to be banked is silly. There's a reason why there's people that are not banked. There's a lack of infrastructure, electricity, even any economic activity for any banking to go on. So, you know, I mean, I'm hearing the same story, back in 2013 when I first got involved, and this whole idea that, you know, you know, if it's not a greedy banker, guess what? It's a greedy, investor. If it's not a greedy investor, then it's a greedy, self-interested entrepreneur, right? And people are motivated to do things because there's usually some incentive for them to do it. If there is no incentive, then you're just taking from the person who is actually doing that activity. And then eventually what happens is that person eventually is unable to do it because they can't sustain that program anymore. They can't sustain giving if people keep taking from them all the time. So that's the sad story, or which I think that is the sad reality of this whole situation. This token sale is nothing more than a way to, which looks like to me is just a way to raise money. And that's about it. I don't see what, you know, isn't there enough tokens that try to bank the unbanked in the world? Tokens out there. Uh, I mean, like, for goodness sakes. Yeah, this is an insult. It's an insult, really. I don't think this, even if this token sale did happen, the reality is that there will still be people who are unbanked. I mean, I don't know what they're talking about. Are they talking about people in the first world countries that basically can get banking at any point in time? I mean, even with all the bank closures that I and dealt with, I can still get banking. And it just may not be with Wells Fargo, or it may not be with Bank of America. It may not be with Chase or Citibank or the major corporations. I can still get banking with my regional banking. I can still get banking with my local banking, my credit union. Just work just as well. They just don't have the as many locations. But if you use a credit card, which doesn't cost you a thing to use, so to say that this is not a first world problem. Unbanked unbanked people don't first world. They're usually in the second and third world countries where a lot of a lack reason for is not because why is this not going? A lot of the reasons why the I'm stuck on this thing. I'm literally stuck on this page. Go backwards then. Go to backwards to CoinMarket. There we go. So it's like the reason is because they can't they can't, is because there is no bank. All right, there is no bank out there, infrastructure or economy to support a bank at all for anyone to have a bank account. So creating a cryptocurrency doesn't do anything. It doesn't it doesn't help people bank. It's like that ICO Humanic, like that was a joke. How is someone going to use Humanic if they don't even have a phone or any electricity? Which that was the purpose of that ICO. This is a joke. Okay, let's go to ADA, which is Cardano. A Pisces trait rules 373. Even in third world countries, I mean, the issue is not because people can't get bank accounts. The issue is there is no bank, right? There is no bank, and there's no infrastructure to support a bank or any economic activity in that third world country. The problem is not, they don't have cryptocurrencies to become banked or unbanked. The problem is larger than that. I mean, it's quite a bit. You gotta there's nation building, there's infrastructure building. All this is more than any ICO can ever raise. Okay. Matter of fact, you could take the market cap of all the cryptocurrency, right, and it still won't be enough. It still won't be enough to help a third world country. It takes quite a bit of money and time, money and time and resource. So Cardano is just kicking butt. And Cardano, if you don't know what Cardano is like Ethereum. Is exactly like Ethereum. One of the founders actually started Ethereum. And instead of being a proof of work, it's a proof of stake. So it's basically Ethereum that's gone to a proof of stake. And that's what this is. And this is why it's pumping. And the same people who are into Ethereum are basically into Cardano. And so this is their hope, I'm assuming. And I think that Ethereum is probably, if this is pumping, there may be a good chance that Ethereum may be reaching a point where they can no longer sustain their growth. They reached their growth limit, and Cardano is, and I don't think Cardano will work, but I think Cardano is there to pull those people who are looking to go to a proof of stake from Ethereum and drag them over to Cardano. And they're just going to go with this. People who are into Ethereum are gullible. I think they're gullible. And they will just keep trying. They will literally just keep doing, they'll jump off of one boat to another boat as long as they believe that other people are going to do it too, and that's the right thing to do. Like that's the in thing to do. Jump on this boat because this is the new thing, and they're just going to keep jumping. And then when this doesn't work anymore, the same people, probably the same group of people, they're going to start another project. It's going to be called, I don't know, whatever name they come up. I just can't think of a name, but whatever name project they come up with, whatever token that this project couldn't fulfill, apparently the new project will fulfill that, and then other people will jump on board on that one, and it's just an infinite cycle of, you know, I, I'm just going to say stupidity in a lot of ways. It's just an infinite cycle, and people are just going to be putting money into it. And here's the sad part is there's probably a really good chance that a lot of people can make money because everyone's dumping money into this thing, and no one's going to say, people are going to say, well, how can it be a failure if it's making money? Well, it'll keep making money until it doesn't, and then and then the failure will just be, I think they'll just move on to the next failure, and the next failure, and the next failure. All right, so that's Cardano. If you don't know what it is, it's basically an Ethereum proof of stake, and what's happening is you're seeing a shorter time frame of what happened to Ethereum is basically what's happening to Cardano. So that's simply what it is. Cardano is just picking up where Ethereum is leaving off. It's going straight from inception to proof of stake. That's all it's doing. Inception to proof of stake. So if you need to get in now, you have to get in now, because eventually you're going to have to become the master node, quote unquote, and you need to buy in these tokens while they're really cheap, because then they need to get a lot of people suckered into this, where you're creating a big fucking pyramid in which eventually you're all going to be dumped on, and the people who are invested in early are going to leave, probably take your Bitcoin, take your Ethereum, whatever, and then go somewhere else and start another pyramid, and then just one pyramid after another pyramid. All right, let me see. Where are we now? We're in the Cardano, gas. Oh goodness. Let's take a look at gas. Gas are basically neo farts. GAS. Gas. Gas are nothing but the farts from Neo. Residual Ponzi, I should say. Yeah, look at this. This is gas, everyone. So yeah, this is gas is a loser. And on top of that, you get gas for free if you own Neo. So why anybody would buy this is beyond me, but gas is a loser. Let's see, after gas, let me see here. Populous, PPT, PPT, yeah, PPT, Populous. It is a long list today. There's a lot of coins that just made some all-time highs. Okay, so PPT Populous, it's kind of struggling at the 24,000 Satoshi, and I have a feeling that it's reached its peak right here. Going to start trending downwards again. It's going to go back to its mean, which is basically right about here. That's what it should be worth, really. Decred. Let's check out Decred. Yeah, if you have Cardano, you should, I don't know. Uh, it's going to peak at some point, and then the guy with the most Cardano tokens is going to reach into that cookie jar and grab the most cookies out of it, and then that's when the downturn is going to start. Decred doesn't look good. doesn't look good. Looks like it's eventually turning to its mean as well. Although if you believe in the project, it shouldn't matter, right? You shouldn't care whether the price, what the price is. You should be investing in it because you believe in it. But as far as I can see, it's had its pump during early part of this year. Well, since May all the way to the summer, and then since the summer, Bitcoin has outperformed Decred. Dogecoin. Okay, let's check out what's happening with Doge. DOGE. You know, there's not much technical analysis for me to do with this stuff. I mean, just look at the chart, and the chart should tell you everything. There's very few coins that are making Bitcoin right now. Doge is not one of them. All right, Doge is not a coin that makes Bitcoin for you, unless you want to be a very long time bag holder and just wait around. But while you're being a bag holder, you're missing out on the tremendous amount of gains that Bitcoin is giving you right now. If that's your strategy, more power to you. Stratus. Street rat. That's what I would call it. STRAT. Street rat. Yeah. Okay. Well, this is one of these coins where good, but you're more than welcome to give up your Bitcoin to make somebody else rich. And then EMC2. EMC2 Einsteinium. See how this is doing. It's been a while since I looked at this. Well, Einsteinium is making some pretty good Bitcoins for you. I wonder if it's peaked out yet. It looks like it's starting to peak out. It's going up and down, but it's not making higher Bitcoin. So best of luck to you. If you have Einsteinium, good luck. Hopefully you won't get caught on the wrong side of the trade on this one. LBC library credits. LBC. Okay, if this chart does not tell you enough about LBC, I don't know what can. But if you want to invest in this, if you want to invest in this coin, by all means, make somebody else rich with your Bitcoin. So go ahead. Let me see, LBC, Factum, Pivx, and Genosis. Okay, so let's just go round up the bottom here. FTC. No, FCT, Factum, Pivx, and Genosis are going to be my last three here. Client Shibzig. Einsteinium spread the news today. They work with NASA. Oh, goodness. Yeah, NASA needs to work with a cryptocurrency, an obscure cryptocurrency called Einsteinium. God, that's like the worst fake news I've heard so far. So Factum, wow, this is a loser. All right, this is like a loser times two. Anyways, if you were in on the pump, you made out on it, but right now, and even if you wanted to be involved in a pump, and you bought some tokens now, how long would you have to wait before you get a return? And by the way, by the time it pumps and dumps and everything, Bitcoin would probably have gone up much higher and probably outperformed this token or this cryptocurrency. Okay, PIVX, PIVX. Let's have a look at PIVX. It's up to what, $8? Wow, up to $8. So my $30 turned into an $80. Uh, technically, this has made more Bitcoin, but let's face it, this thing is never going to make. It's never going to make really that much Bitcoins for you. You're just better off just go ahead and buying Bitcoins. It'll probably outperform this. It's already kind of trending downwards. And Genosis, Geno. Jacob TS, you say EOS tokens are ERC20 compatible tokens on the Ethereum blockchain. EOS tokens do not have any rights, use, purpose, attributes, functionalities, or features expressed or implied. And you basically cut and paste that straight from EOS. Yeah. EOS is nothing more than a charity token. You're just giving your money away. Wow, Genosis. Look at that. I remember when Genosis was on the top 10 on the coin market cap. And slowly but surely, this is probably how all ERC tokens are going to look like. The guy with the most tokens, or the person with the most tokens, once they've decided that they made enough money, they're going to dig their hands in the cookie jar and basically take as much Bitcoin out of the cookie jar, and subsequently everyone after thereof is going to be grabbing and getting less and less and less and less and less. And essentially that's what Genosis is. This, if you want to know what chart to look out for where you don't want to buy, this is the pattern you want to look for that you don't want to buy. Genosis is a loser. Okay, so that rounds up my altcoin shorts. Let me see here. I'll go back to here. So here, there's a link in the notes section for the bond trading view. This view created by James Bond Bitcoin Live. List of top 55 coins and tokens compared to Bitcoin percentage and all-time high, flagged for shorts, and have a very, very long list of shorts, as you can see right here. Here's my short list. Some people use it to actually buy. You know, some people may use my list to actually buy into these tokens. I don't know why. The whole purpose of this is to get you more Bitcoins. All right, and if you notice, most of these coins are really hot right now, but you compare them to Bitcoin, they're not performing that great compared to Bitcoin. So, all right, so let's go on here and let's take a look at the whole mempool statistics. We'll take a look at the mempool on Bitcoin. And we'll see what the traffic looks like today. All right, so it looks like we're in the 300 to 500 Satoshis per byte, and it's building off of this purple. So right here, we got the 300 Satoshis per byte at 7,000 transactions. At 200 Satoshis per byte, we got 20,000 transactions. So it's quite, let me see, where are we right now? Actually, there's about 14,000 transactions at 300 Satoshis per byte. And so that's where most of the transactions are. So you probably have to do something more than 300, maybe 400 to maybe definitely 400 will get you into the next block. So it's starting to pack up there at 156,000 transactions in the mempool. Let me see. On a side note, Jacob TS, you said on a side note, introduced Mama TS to the James Bond show last night. She likes it. Oh, I'm glad. Well, thank you for sharing. I really appreciate that. So let's take a look at the trade block. See what the traffic looks like. So on trade block, it's showing 57,000 transactions in the mempool. As you can see here on the 7-day, it has increased. And you can get an idea of the fee size. And you're looking at 400 Satoshis per byte, 750, 500 Satoshis per byte. It is getting pretty high. So you definitely need to do more than 300 as of right now to get your transactions into the block. So it's getting very, very expensive. That's probably $20 probably. Average $20 to $30 per transaction for the fee. So things are getting very, very congested. Even though there is more hashing power, the block times are faster. There's just more transactions on the blockchain. That's just what's going on right now. I see one for 157 Satoshis per byte, as you see right here. So, okay. All right, now let's go to the charts, Bitcoin charts. All right, so where are we right now? We're at $18,864. So not that bad, not that bad at all. Slightly making, well, it's really thin. It's really, really thin. It's like it's struggling. It doesn't know whether it wants to go down or up. It's kind of been ranging in a very tight wedge. Let's have a look here. So here's the 1 hour on Bitstamp. And let me maximize this view here. There we go. And then let's just make some lines. So the first line I made was kind of like this. You can see it kind of react a little bit. So the second line, this is kind of what I did, is just make line after line, and you'll see what's happening here. And then the final line right here. And if the lines seem to be going upwards, then I think that's a good indicator that it's starting to go up higher. Let's make that final line right here. So if you see right here, you see that it is breaking. It seems to be breaking, then goes down, then breaks and goes down, more or less goes sideways. But the fact that it just keeps breaking higher and higher, I think it's pretty good. So I'll just put this new line right here. And so let me see here. All right. So if it's going to go higher, it needs to do two things. It's probably going to have to break this trend line, and then also break this line here as well, because that was the previous high. And so it's going to have to break those two resistance areas. And then after that, I mean, it just needs to break the all-time high. So that's what it's going to have to do to break up higher. Will it break up higher? Let me draw some bottom lines here. See if it's just following that. Yeah, it's following that. Look at that. It's just following those lines here. So that's kind of what you're looking at. We're into a wedge, and as you can see, it's just ranging and getting tighter and tighter, and it's just going sideways, and that's kind of what it's been doing. It's going to have to either break upwards or break downwards, or maybe it'll go sideways, but typically it's been breaking upwards, and that's kind of been the trend. Why would you try to fight the trend? I don't know, but some people think they can beat the market. I would say good luck, because it's people have been paying the price for trying to short the market so far. All right, so let me take a quick look at the 12-hour, see what's going on at the 12-hour. You can see that 12-hour moving average. It's really supporting this candlestick right now, as you can see right there. So as long as the spot price is higher than this moving average, it's most likely going to be trending up higher. And then same thing here. Although it's a red candlestick, it is above the moving average. So we have to just assume that it will continue to go up higher. Let's see, let's take a look at the 3-day. 3-day shows as a red candlestick, but we still have a lot of time left. There is a gap here. It's a little concern. Kind of making a very small red hammer. So the RSI is trending downwards. So we'll see what happens. It seems like it's getting exhausted on the 3-day. It just seems that way, but it doesn't mean that it's going to all of a sudden turn downwards. All right, the 1 week, very thin in what it's doing, like very small and very thin. Usually when I see that, it seems like it's struggling to do anything. It's just staying at around $19,000, somewhere around there, until it decides to break up or down. It may just go sideways for a while and allow the moving average to catch up. Hey, Crypto Cotter, how you doing? Finally made it. Finally made it. What do I have the 2013 trend line at today? Well, it's okay. Well, let's take a look. Let's see. You want to know that trend line? Where is it at today? Probably talking about this right here. All right, let's see where it is today. Let's try to zoom in just a little bit more. Get you an idea where that trend line is. It's at very close to 7,050. If you want to know where that trend line is today. And the long-term average, if you see the moving average right there, it's basically broken above that trend line. So I don't know if that actually means anything, but that's where we are. We are literally $10,000 above that trend line. So there you go. That's where we are. I'm hoping for a 3x on that trend line. So 3 times 7,000. That's where I'm getting the number of 21,000. Some people say it's exponential, so I should be really doing 3 times 3. So I should be doing 9 times 7,000. So we should really be going to 70,000. If you want to get an idea of why people say it's 100,000. So if you take 14.4 times 7,000, that'll get you very close to 100,000. Actually, I think it goes up to 108,000. So if 14.4 is a lucky number for you, then fine. Take it for what it is. You've been a crypto coder. You've been on the road for your fiat gig last week. Glad I missed you. I guess so. I guess I'll take anybody who's willing to watch my live streams. So I miss you all. So anyways, as long as the price is above the moving average, I think so far, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 weeks, as long as the long as the spot price has been higher than the moving average, it's gone up. Now, if things start to turn, then there may be some concern. There's always a correction or pullback, or maybe the spot price has gotten ahead of the moving average. And so if you want to know what the moving average is right now on the weekly, that's 13,007. Let me see here. 13,800, somewhere around there. The longer term moving average looks like 7,200. So that's what's going on so far. So it looks like that's it. There's really not much. I mean, it's hovering around 19,000. I'm hoping literally just $2 more thousand, and you can be at 21,000. So let's just close this and end this off with the meme. All right, so I put in my third Bitcoin on the candle here. We've gone and we've acknowledged the 3 years of Bitcoin in 3 days. So there's what looks like 5, 6. There's 6 more days until we come up until I think it's to the 24th, I believe. So 6 more days to recognize the 9 years of Bitcoin. And we should all remember, because we're having a fantastic year. It's been a long struggle. It's been a long ride. And, we have to consider all the tribulations, all the struggles that I guess each of us have gone through. I know I've gone through some of my struggles, and it's just good to reflect upon the effort it took to get here. Trading and providing Bitcoin to anybody who comes to me and wants it. A lot of people come to me, but I don't know if they really want it. They play these weird games. If they know how the game is played, they have to realize that you when you do a trade, it's not like other. How some people, like, they try to, like, grind you down to the point where you don't make any money, and they're basically trying to get the best deal. Well, Bitcoin, I guess you can try to do that. I mean, I'm not going to stop you, but you got to realize that there's a limited amount of Bitcoin and also a limited amount of time. And, I don't have to sell any of my Bitcoin. I mean, I don't have to sell any of my Bitcoin. Matter of fact, why would I? Every, every Bitcoin I've sold has been a mistake. So if anything, I shouldn't be selling any. That's the reality. But I do because, you know, I know that somebody out there needs to use them. And so I do provide that use. And so when people come around and they want to like grind me down to nothing, it's almost like, well, why? Why should I like have to sell myself short? Because literally all I have to do is hold on to this coin another week, and I can make $2,000 or $3,000 per coin. And people, it's hard to get Bitcoin right now. I'm telling you, it is hard to get Bitcoin. But you got people who think like uh, Bitcoin is so easy to get. Just go to Coinbase, just go to Bitstamp. They must be green and wet behind the ears. They're the noobs. They don't understand that it's hard to get Bitcoin, and it's going to continue to get harder to get Bitcoin. And while they're playing around and trying to play a game, I'm you know I'm just going to just totally. Uh, I know what's going to happen. Eventually, they're going to miss. They're going to miss out. They should have bought Bitcoin as soon as they could have, as the first opportunity that they had to get Bitcoins. They should have, but they're messing around trying to get a better deal or whatever, and eventually they're just going to go to an altcoin. And here's the sad part. The sad part is they're going to think that they made out better because they didn't lose money, they made money. They don't realize that you only got a 10% return of your investment, right? If you compared it to Bitcoin. All right. So you gave up, you made $1,000, but you gave up making $9,000 more, right? You gave up making 10,000. So there's a lot of people that are like that. Just I I know just on YouTube alone, there are like people who like I know they probably made hundreds of $1,000s, okay, because they did the pump and dump. They got into an altcoin and whatever it 10x, 4x, whatever. I don't really believe that, but they probably made hundreds of thousands of dollars. I believe them, right? I believe them because if anybody who bought 10 bitcoins at the beginning of the year, guess what? You made $200,000. All right, you turn a $10,000 investment into $200,000. Essentially, I think it's going to be $189,000 or something like that. So, you know, I can believe someone can probably, I can believe people have made a couple $100,000 pumping and dumping. They did a lot of work. They had to go through a lot of shit coins. They had to go through a lot of noobs, a lot of bag holders to do it, but they probably made that money. Compared to someone who just put in $10,000 at the beginning of the year buying Bitcoin, you would have at least around $200,000, and you didn't have to do a damn thing. Okay, you could have still kept your job and done whatever, or you could, I don't know, if you can, you know, not work, then that's great. But you would have made an easy $200,000 doing nothing. Now imagine if you actually bought more than that and continued to buy Bitcoin, you would even have more. All right, you would have even made more. There has been chances, I think, that people could have been multi-billionaires, multi-billionaires. But because of their short-sightedness and their disbelief that the price would go up, You know, they sold themselves short. They only made a couple $100,000 instead of being a multi-millionaire and possibly even a multi-billionaire. So, anyways, let me conclude this episode. I'd like to thank everybody in the chat. Leisure Picker, welcome. It was a pleasure to chat with you. You say it might be a lot harder to get Bitcoin in the future. Yeah, it is. It's getting harder right now. And this is and I trade peer to peer all the time, and it's getting harder. It's getting harder to get. I can tell you that. And you know, if anyways, yeah, it's getting harder. It's going to continue to get harder. Okay, so DD8209, thank you for watching. Leisure Picker, Pisces Trait Rule 737, Crypto Cotter. And then Jacob TS, happy Hanukkah. That's right, happy Hanukkah, everybody. Oh goodness. And let's see, 21 Million Club. Thanks for being here. Let's see who else is in here, guys. You guys were definitely chatting all the way up to the end with me. Thanks, really appreciate that. Client Shibzig in the chat, and let's see, Marty Wilkinson, Julie G. Let's see who else was in the chat. Anybody else here? Oh, that's it. It doesn't go up that high. So thank you, everybody. Really enjoyed your time and your company. Feel free to like, dislike, leave a comment, or even do a video response. Until next time, everyone, stay tuned. Bye.